Hey everyone, Dylan here, and welcome to the Raw review for January 22nd, 2024. A lot of things happened last night, so I'm just going to get right into it without further ado. It starts off with a shot of New Orleans. That's the city we're in tonight, by the way, as we are welcome to episode 1600, if you will, of Monday Night Raw. We then have a shot of Punk arriving earlier today and Cody also arriving earlier today. They then plug later on tonight they're going to be face to face. I didn't know that was needed and or going to be a thing, but it makes sense later. You kind of question at first, but it makes sense later. Just roll with it. After they plug that, we then start off the show where Seth Rollins coming out to the ring, very solemn this time, but it's to address his future, to see if he will be at Mania, when's he got to get surgery, if he has to get surgery, how's that knee, when did it happen, etc., etc. He gets to the ring and he takes a moment just to soak in the crowd, doing the whoa thing. And then they chant, "Thank you, Seth," as he welcomes New Orleans to Monday Night Rollins. He explains exactly how he got injured, which I hate making it about me, but I called it, unfortunately. When he did the lion salt off the ropes, he tweaked it. And then he goes on to explain that when he was in the back, he said it dawned on him that he might be out for a while. He thought that it might be a real possibility that he would miss Mania, which gets a no chant from the crowd. He says he appreciates the no's, but it's out of his control. He went to get an MRI and got the results back halfway through last week. According to him, he has a grade 2 tear on his MCL and has a partially torn, I didn't get the other word, it's like something meniscus. And with surgery, he's out 3 to 4 months. That sucks. Multiple levels. Just going to put a pause in it right there. That sucks due to the fact it's almost Mania season, which he addresses that later. It sucks because 3 to 4 months, even if he were to wrestle at Mania, that's April, which is 3 to 4 months away. So yeah, he would literally have to miss the entire build-up to his theoretical Mania match. And then on top of him missing all that, it just sucks to be without Seth Rollins for 3 to 4 months. But on top of that, the first holder of this title gets injured. It's kind of like setting a bad, how do I word it? It's setting a bad energy off the bat. Like, ooh, watch out, this title's cursed. Ooh, I don't know. Just, I hope Seth gets better. Due to all this, he said that he doesn't know exactly what his future holds, and he's taking it day by day. As he's talking, Gunther finally comes out, and this time it's with Imperium. I finally have a week that I don't have to say sans somebody in Imperium. It's finally the whole group, and I will take it. Oh, also, welcome back, Vinci. Gunther goes to the ring looking snazzy in all black and like a navy blue sweater. It looks a good look. Anyway, Seth says he doesn't have time for this. Just do what they gotta do. Gunther says not to worry about them, implying the rest of Imperium. They have a match with New Day later. He should worry about Gunther. Gunther then says that Seth put a lot of hard work into being an admirable champion, just like Gunther. He says that he will be sad that Seth might not make it to Mania. Seth then tells him to let him finish, basically. He says he doesn't give a damn what the doctors tell him. He will take this title into WrestleMania and will everything in his power to retain. Like, he will it into existence to retain. Gunther says that's great, and he admires that, and Seth reminds him a lot of himself. From one great champion to another great champion, Gunther is going to win the Rumble and choose Seth as his opponent for Mania, and will target all of his injuries to defeat him and become the World Heavyweight Champion. By the way, Gunther said that. I'm not the great champion. Well, I mean, I am a pretty great champion, if I do say so myself. Seth then says to remember who's coming after and sticks out his hand to shake. Then Gunther tells him to remember who's coming after him, and he shakes his hand. And as Gunther is leaving the ring, the New Day jumps from the crowd and takes out the rest of Imperium. Seth leaves the ring. So we're going to put a pause in that and say 4 stars for that segment. I'm really happy because that means that Seth, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be at Mania. So thankfully we don't have to go a Mania without Seth Rollins. Yay! That was kind of redundant, but anyway, I digress. I'm going to pull the mic closer to my mouth. Hello. That transitions into a tag team match afterwards, where the match gets thrown out, I believe, due to count out at the end. They brawl through the crowd and into the tech area, where they almost take out Kofi with a chair. Like, I think Vinci's holding him, and Kaiser's about to, take his head off guillotine style with the chair. But Woods saves him. Woods is on, a bunch of equipment cases, and he was going to do a move to Kaiser, but Vinci saves him. They try to do a double suplex, but Kofi pulls Woods down, and I think he just dives onto all of them and takes out his own partner and Vinci and Giovanni. The same person. Take out Vinci and Kaiser, and that's how that segment ends. That was an awesome moment, but it ends with the crowd chanting, holy shit, and due to whatever censors, they have to, but it's not it's that whole phrase is censored, and it takes out what commentary says too. So it's like if I was just randomly talking to you and then we went right back to it like that. But try that 8 different times. I come back after that. They then show off WWE 2K24's covers and promote it. There's 3 different covers for this year. The 40th anniversary of WrestleMania, the normal one with Cody on it, and the one with Rhea and Bianca on it. So, just to let you know that eventually, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, I will have a video explaining everything we know so far about 2K24 up on this channel, or at least everything I can find, asterisk. I'll have it up on this channel eventually before release, hopefully. With that being said, I'm going to take a second, put a pin in the review again, sorry. Gonna plug this. Tomorrow we're going to pick up where we last left off on WWE 2K22. If you want to catch up on that, there'll be a playlist either clipped now or it'll be at the end of the video, or maybe it was at the beginning of the video. But point taken, it will be there. Once I finish editing part 3 of the VODs, I think that's actually episode 14 through whatever I end at for you all. Once I finish editing that, I will go to 2K23 and play that until 24 comes out, or maybe I'll just accidentally skip over 23 and we'll just play 24 when it comes out. I might pick up on 2K22 and 23 once 25 comes out, but who knows? Who knows what the future may hold at this point. Alright, so back to the video. Thank you for taking your time out to hear that. They recap what just happened. Then we have a hype video for Drew versus Priest later on tonight, which was pretty cool. They used the artwork similar to how they did for Shinsuke versus Cody. I think it was the same artist style, I guess is the way to say it. But that was pretty cool. I like that. And then we go to JD, the Judgment Day, where Rhea belittles Priest for fighting everybody. She's like, what, do you want to fight everybody now? And then she informs him that Priest has a tag team match next week because she was talking to Pierce, and he said that. And they have a tag team title defense next week against DIY. Priest says he isn't trying to fight everybody, and he will handle Drew. Then he says that Rhea has a big head just because she's on the cover of 2K24, and that she should stop going to Pierce's office so much. He then leaves. He's like, I'm going to clear my head for the match tonight. And then Rhea runs down Dom and JD for basically being... She's like, hey, you all need to take this more serious. And as she... whatever she says, Finn mocks her each time she finishes a statement. And for that, she says that he's going to be at ringside with JD and Dom instead of with Priest tonight. And that she wants to see the vicious side of Finn to come out. And he's like, oh, I'll give you the vicious side of me. Sorry, sorry. 4 stars for the segment, 0 stars for the accent. We then get a promo with Ivy featuring Maxine in the background where she was asked a question, but it's like one of those things she starts to answer it, and then Maxine's like, don't worry, you'll do well. And then the Creed brothers come in. It's like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And they all keep on talking, not let her talk. And then she says, don't worry, I have it tonight. Oh, by the way, her match is against Valhalla, and it's coming up right now. They have a short match that ends with Ivy winning. 3.5 stars. It was a decent match. That's right, expert wrestler here. Dylan, I'm going to tell you what's a good match and what's not. Ready? All right, then we go backstage to where the New Day are icing up, and Jay daps them up until they're asked about Imperium by Jackie. Like, they're just shit-talking until then. And Jackie comes in a shot, asks him about Imperium. New Day then says that people think that New Day can't get down and dirty because they're always out with the unicorn horn, slapping hands, all this. But they forget when push comes to shove that they can be a serious team. And that Kofi is going to challenge Gunther for the IC title next week to remind him of that. And as he's leaving, he's like, yeah. You hear it in the background like that. And then Jey Uso looks over, like, does like a turnaround shoulder thing, and you think he's gonna yell into the microphone, like he's like kid you not, like this close to the microphone, and you think he's gonna yell into the microphone, yeet, and fuck up the audio, but he had enough wherewithal to be like, yeet. I appreciate that. 4 stars just because of the charisma in this. Then we get a promo for Taker's, the One Dead Man show. If there's any videos on YouTube, and if I ever have free time, I may take up like watching one of these for a quote-unquote review, but it's not on my agenda to watch this now. Anyway, after that, Nia Jax has a promo where she talks, oh god, this segment killed me. It screamed Vince era, and I hated it. So it starts out, Nia's out in the ring, she talks about how she squashed Rhea the first time they met, and that the same thing's going to happen to... And the same thing did happen to Becky already. And she says that neither one of them wants to face Nia. That's why they're challenging each other, because she knows that they know that they will get squashed in the ring by Nia and she'll win the Rumble. Then Becky comes out with a darker dye, by the way. I don't know if her hair was just fading, she just re-dyed it, or if she just went for a different look, but cool hair. She then tells Nia to shut her mouth and calls her a dope. And then tells her she has a bigger target on her back now than ever because everybody in the locker room hates Nia. And she doesn't know if she'll enjoy winning the Rumble. She doesn't know which one she'll enjoy more, win the Rumble a second time or seeing Nia get eliminated. And then in the middle of this, Bayley just casually comes out. Nobody's making it like a big deal, but I get happy. I'm like, yay, it's Bayley. She's very charismatic. I love charismatic people. And she then runs down both of her opponents in the crowd a little bit, saying that she's going to win the Rumble. And then they do that thing where all the women fight, and then Nia ends up throwing, Nia ends up throwing Becky over the top rope. And then she gives Bayley a leg drop. And I immediately had NXT flashbacks, or maybe it was like main roster flashbacks, where she did that and fucked up Bayley's rotator cuff. Anyways, 3 stars. Do not bring this back from the Vince era, please. After that, they do part 1 for some reason of the By the Numbers video they do for the Rumble. Then Dom with Finn and JD has a match against The Miz by himself. They show a video beforehand where like Miz is talking to R-Truth, and somehow R-Truth got out of Miz being like, hey, you're my partner. Somehow R-Truth got that out of like, okay, fine, I won't come out for your match. I won't come out to support you. When we come back from one of the ad breaks during this match, Rhea goes up to Becky and says something, but where they don't have the audio adjusted correctly, it's like crowd audio is like, what? And then like hers is like, you get like what? And then it comes in at the last word she says. It's annoying. Anyway, the match happens, and the crowd just wants truth the whole time. They're chanting like, we want our truth, or something to that extent. They have the match where Dom ends up winning with a frog splash, and Finn comes to the ring for a beatdown. After the beatdown, DIY comes out to save The Miz, and they clear the ring, and they try to give their finisher to JD, but JD only takes a skull-crushing finale. He gets out of the way for the... I think Finn pulled him out of the way for the meet in the middle. Yeah, 3.5 stars. I agree with the crowd. Where is R-Truth? After that, Priest has a promo backstage, or he tries to, but R-Truth interrupts him at first, trying to give him his cut for the week and talks to him, but Priest says, hey, not right now, man. Then then Priest, if I can get my names right, talks about how weak Drew is now, and basically that no matter what, he will become champion, whether it's tonight or if he wins the Rumble, and that Drew will receive his punishment. 3.5 stars. I need more truth. After that, Chad Gable comes out to have his one-on-one match against Ivar, and as respectfully as I can say this, I could watch Chad Gable fight for a week straight, and it would be a 5-star classic. I'm telling you. Before this match even starts, Bronson Reed says that he wants a title match, and eventually him and Jay are going to have to cross paths, so he's going to challenge him next week to a match. He wants to make him an example. The match that's going on right now ends, by the way. It's a beautiful one-on-one bout, except for the ending. The ending ends up getting screwed up because Valhalla just comes out of nowhere and just goes and Gable doesn't sell it. He's just like, what are you doing, type of deal. And during that, Ivar takes him off the top rope and then hits a doomsault on him for the win. 3.5 stars, just because that ending knocked it down a whole star for me. But hey, my star rating doesn't count. Watch this yourself. After that, they plug the promo between Cody and Punk coming up next. And then after we come back to the ring where both of the men come out. It's weird because it's not one of those Cody comes out, then says some things, then Punk comes out, then they say some things. It's straight up Cody comes out, does his long-ass entrance. Punk comes out, does a longer-ass entrance. After a little bit of awkward stare down and just silence between the two, Punk starts it off by saying that they just need to enjoy the moment right now. And then immediately after that, Cody asks Punk, what do you want to talk about? Punk then immediately says he wants to talk about his dad. Ooh. And then he says, it's not in a disrespectful way. He's just going to tell Cody a story. He tells him about in 2007, Dusty called Punk and asked him to keep an eye on Cody for him. He said that he didn't understand why, but when the American Dream asks for a favor, you don't say no. He said he only brought up this story because he's going to have to break his promise of protecting Cody when he wins the Rumble. And then Cody says he isn't the only person, Punk isn't the only person who has seen his father in Cody. It's a large shadow for him, but he's tried his hardest to make his legacy shine a little brighter than Dusty's. He then talked about OVW, because that was the whole story, by the way, where Punk treated him like a peer and a friend, and that's why it's going to be hard at the Rumble, because there are no friends. And then Punk asks him if on Sunday morning that he can separate personal from business after the Rumble. In other words, can you still be friends? All right. It was at this point I stopped basically quoting verbatim what happens, because once again, 5-star promo between Punk and somebody, and I love this. I love this when, he did it at AEW for a bit before drama killed his career, but it's when Punk comes back, he has a couple weeks where it's just killer feel. So Punk was talking about how his dad was an electrician or something, a blue-collar man, and that he said, if you think about it, I'm more of an American Dream than Cody is. Cody then brought up the pipe bomb and how Punk left right after and dropped the ball, basically. But Cody did what Punk talked about, so that basically makes him more Punk than CM Punk is. That pissed off Punk, so he starts taking off his jacket and he gets in Cody's face, and Cody informs him that he's going through Punk at the Rumble. He accidentally bumps Punk on the way out, and Punk turns him around and gets in his face, and it's really intense until they both calm down, and then they leave on separate sides of the ring to end the segment. 4.5 stars. I love when they can go crazy and make beautiful magic out of random shit like this. It helps make the Rumble seem legitimate, and also it helps add some story beats into the Rumble too. I think, from what I've heard, I obviously didn't know the guy, but I think Pat Patterson would approve of this. Commentary tries to transition into our next subject, but Punk ends up talking into Wade Barrett's mic, his headset, and he ends up saying that he's going to win at the Rumble. And then he tells Wade, he's like, don't pull this away from me, or something like that. All right, after that, they transition into a promo package about Hulkamania. Basically, Hulk Hogan's just he's just stroking his own dick at this point, saying, hey, I've 40 years, Hulkamania's happened, brother. He like that one thing The Rock did. During that, there is one note that he made like a tease that he may enter the Rumble, which I feel like that's just the old timer being like, hey, you never know, dude, even though we all know. We then get a tag team match between Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Top 10 reasons why I hit the skip button. Not because of them, just because the match is unfortunately predictable, the outcome of the match. Because... oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the tag team champions are looking on. The match ends with Stark winning it for her team. The tag team champs then get into the ring. Shayna and Zoe step out of the ring, and then Damage Control comes from behind, jumps them, and like taunts on top of them. And we end the segment. 3.5 stars. Half star for that Damage Control. I'm so ready for SmackDown. I'm ready for the Rumble. What am I saying? After that, Drew has an interview, and he was asked first about Cody and Punk, and he says he doesn't care like what they have to say. And he doesn't have anything to say about it. He said he said everything last week and the weeks prior to the participants, basically. And then he said they're all following in his path. And then he goes after Priest and tells him that he's not ready yet to be a champion, basically. 4-star promo. It's way better than I worded it. You should go out of your way to check it out. After that, we get Priest versus McIntyre, but beforehand, there's a little pre-recorded video with Damage Control and Team Natalya, aka Natalya and Tegan Nox, arguing. And then I put Priest. That's a weird universe mode. And then Pierce breaks them up, and Damage Control says that they will be here more often. After Damage Control leaves, Jinder and his henchmen are here. And they come up and tell Pierce that they need to talk to him, and they threaten to talk. They threaten him if he doesn't speak to them. He says that they're going to talk, and they need to go to his office. And after they leave, he's like, "Oh, I need a drink." And all I thought of after he said that was a wah wah sound effect. After that, we get the By the Numbers video part 2. Then they show this already announced people in the men's and women's Rumble, as well as a bunch of vacants in the background, and get the whole Royal Rumbles cards, which, by the way, sometime this week before Friday, I am going to do a predictions video on the Royal Rumble and who I think is going to win. So tune into that if you want. It's going to be just like these videos. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. All right, after that, we go to the main event where R-Truth comes out and tries to give Priest his cut, but Priest like shoves him over. And then Truth is like, oh, okay, I'll put it in the briefcase, whatever. Truth is trying to like get into the briefcase, but he can't figure out the code. So he goes onto the ropes, and he's like, hey, I can't figure out the code, whatever. And Drew ends up pulling Truth into the ring. And that's enough distraction for Priest to hit. I think he hit the South Side of Heaven. But the ref's distracted trying to get R-Truth out of the ring. And then Priest comes over to him, threatens to do something, but Drew gives him the Claymore kick for the win. All right, so that match, I'm going to rate it, in my professional rating opinion, I'll rate it like 4.5 stars. It's your normal 30-minute main event, which isn't a bad thing, just saying. It follows that formulated pattern. In my opinion, I think it would have been better if Truth actually helped out Priest there, because then there's kind of a story to be made about that on the following weeks, and you can kind of extend this whole Judgment Day R-Truth thing if you wanted to, but hey, I'll trust the booking, you know? All right, I'll give that whatever I said earlier. Overall, I'll give the show, I'd like to say about 3.5 stars, because I'm starting to fall out of the whole, like, Triple H booking thing. But it's Rumble season, so, like, okay, 4 stars. You're right, Dylan. Anyway, just remember, star ratings don't matter. Today's Tuesday, so I'll see you for gameplay tomorrow. And sometime in the week, I'll have some other videos up, too. Just keep on watching here, because they're going to be, like, at least, off the top of my head, 3 to 4 videos I can guarantee that should be up daily for the next couple of days. All right, enough rambling. No more spoilers. Bye!